Okay guys, it is time for a new update here on the Bitcoin price. I can already tell you this on-chain data is showing us $10,000 per Bitcoin. More and more people are talking about a $10,000 Bitcoin scenario or even worse. And I have to tell you, I will explain to you in today's video. I don't want to spread any FUD or fear why this is actually relatively unrealistic, although we need to expect another big dump to actually occur if we are not managing to break above a few very important price levels within this week. Because as you know, let's not talk too much, let's just jump right into the charts. We have two on-chain datas we need to talk about today. We want to talk about Ethereum and also Bitcoin on the smaller time frames to find out how realistic it is that actually our weekly candle, our current one, finally closes bullish and we can expect Bitcoin to reach the mid $20,000 again to finally potentially confirm a bottom of this bear market. Guys, besides that, as always, I would really appreciate it if you would smash up a like here on today's video. Don't forget to subscribe, activate the bell, and leave a comment down below so you don't miss out on any future uploads. And also by leaving a comment down below, you are for sure supporting the channel, which I really appreciate. But now, as I said, let's just jump right into the charts. So first of all, we are still on the weekly time frame struggling to break back above our upward sloping resistance here. We first saw a small retest yesterday and we got rejected. Jumping onto the smaller time frames, you might remember I told you that the first step would be to break above the $19,450. Bitcoin actually managed to do so. As you can see, the $19,450 are now, since around 24 hours, very beautiful support here, which Bitcoin is retesting over and over again. The only problem is that while we are retesting it, we really haven't yet broken out of our here's support and resistance zone. There's multiple horizontal supports and resistances coming in. We have two different upward sloping supports and resistances. One now turned into support, the other one is still resistance. So we definitely still need to see a clear break above the $19,700 level, so we know, okay, we left all resistance and support behind us. We can also just confirm that by looking at the VPVR for our current time frame here right now, and we can see that Bitcoin is about to leave all the volume behind. But yeah, there's still a few dollars missing, and I mean, it won't be an easy game to break above this $19,700 level, since it is a weekly resistance, right? And weekly resistances don't break usually with just a normal pump on the 1 hourly time frame or something like that. Most of the time we actually need somewhat of a bullish chart pattern to manage then to have enough steam and power from the bulls to break such a significant resistance on the weekly time frame, and most importantly then also holding the price above it, because it's not only enough to break the resistance, right? We also need to confirm it as support then within the next week. So even if we break now to the upside, we just want to see then in the next week a small retest of the $19,700 area, and if that is successful, I can already tell you I am not looking to open any short scalp positions anymore. No, we are actually going to focus on our long swing positions then, and potentially to scale them up relatively quickly, because on the weekly time frame then we don't really have any resistance in our way till we reach first approximately the $22,500 level, and then relatively shortly after, since this resistance shouldn't be all too strong one, which Bitcoin is not able to break, but we should relatively quickly reach then the $27,000 level, where we see the 0.618 Fibonacci retracement level. We see our downward sloping resistance here from our falling wedge coming in, and on top of that we have our long-term 11-year weekly support and resistance. We broke below it, I know, and we also got a confirmed breakdown at the moment. That's why it's so important that we are closing this weekly candle back above the $19,700, that we are not seeing a confirmed breakout here, because a confirmed breakout for sure would lead to our final sell-off, in my opinion, to the $16,000 to $14,000 level. Why are so many people talking about the $10,000 level on social media? Guys, a lot of people are looking at the history for Bitcoin, right, to see to take a look at the history, because the history most of the time in the charts repeats itself. And what we can see here is, let me zoom in real quick a little bit. We have here different lines in this chart I'm going to show you right now, and these lines represent the realized price of different holder categories in the Bitcoin ecosystem. So we have people with less than 0.1 Bitcoin, people with 0.1 to 1 Bitcoin, and so on and so on. But especially what we want to take a look at are the whales, because the whales are the people that more or less have the most control of the market. It's people that have been in the market for ages. They actually have accumulated, right, a lot of Bitcoin, but also a lot of USDT that they can use to more or less manipulate the price in certain scenarios, especially in boring market situations like the bear market, where it's not to be expected that a big buy volume or sell volume from the retailers is coming in, because they already have left the market or just left their bags and they're not worrying about it anymore. And what we can see is that in every single bear market so far, we see that all of our smaller players in the market actually have a big loss on their average bought Bitcoin. So the average small player in the market, right, is in a big loss in the bear market. Even players with 100 to 1000 BTC on average, they are in a loss. The only people where the price never falls below their average realized price are actually the whales. And so far, as we can see, the realized price of the whales has always been a perfect moment where Bitcoin normally reverses and we find the bottom in all of our bear markets that we have seen so far. So now, after we fell below, as you can see, all the smaller holders are now back in a loss once again, but we haven't reached the whales yet, because the whale realized price is actually around the $10,000-$11,000 level. And this is why a lot of people are talking about that. And also there's other on-chain data that are showing us, looking at the history, that $10,000, $11,000 must be the bottom. But we need to keep a single thing in mind. This whole bull market was completely different to the bull markets we have seen before, because we can also see that here at the long-term holder SOPR ratio, that we actually saw the bull market top, and I already talked about that a year ago, over a year ago, that our initial top was the original top for this bull market, with whales, sharks, the big players actually starting to exit the market. Nobody was FOMOing into the market once again, besides retailers, maybe brought by Michael Saylor, Elon Musk, and so on, so on. Nobody was FOMOing in of the big players into that move. So everything we saw pretty much here in the second run-up, once again all the way up to our 11-year resistance. You guys know it, I called you already in the beginning of 2021 that most likely $60,000 to $70,000 will be our top for the current bull run. Why? Because of our 11-year resistance. I was the first person to show that on YouTube actually over or almost 2 years ago now, right? We talked about the line in December for the very first time. Now we actually, as you can see, also saw a second run up to that resistance, which was very unusual, and it was not driven, as I said, by whale buying or anything like that. And this is the only reason why normally our realized whale price would have been a little bit higher, and also we would have corrected a lot quicker, right? We would have seen a much quicker bear market correction, where it would have been realistic that we are hitting the $10,000 level. But over the time with the Ethereum merge, so many new players came into the market that for this run, I'm actually not expecting the price to reach the realized price of the whales, although we have seen that every single time in the bear market before. Just because this bull market is a little bit different, since there was such a huge mainstream attention on Bitcoin that we saw a second run that was not really a real run-up. It was just more or less a fake run by complete retail FOMO. Nothing that really the big players and the long-term players in Bitcoin were expecting or were pushing for or were trading for, right? Or selling their Bitcoin for. So this is the reason why, guys, I can tell you, yes, if we don't manage to relatively soon break above the $19,700 significantly so we can have a bullish weekly candle development, yes, there might be another big drop incoming, but not to $10,000. In my opinion, we will find the bottom, as I always said in the last couple of weeks, between the $16,000 to $14,000 level in the worst case. And that's why, as always, when we are falling below the realized price of all of the players in the market, right, besides the whales, historically, it has always been a sign that it's a very, very good time to buy. And that's why I won't stop actually now trying to scale up my swing long positions as soon as we break the significant resistance to the upside. I won't open any massive short positions anymore at the moment. I will stick on the sidelines and I will see maybe a small short scalp position is something that I would open up in the next couple of days when we clearly see that we are not breaking above the $19,700 level, or if Ethereum shows us anything very, very dramatic. But so far Ethereum is just moving against its horizontal, very important daily support and resistance area again, and I mean, it's unlikely that we are breaking it right now as long as Bitcoin is not confirming its bullish weekly candle close. So we don't really need to expect massive pumps for Ethereum or something like that at the moment, as long as we are staying below this resistance and support. So guys, keep an eye on the charts. I can tell you this week will be very, very exciting, because if we get a bearish weekly candle close, I mean, we have then seen multiple weeks in a row without almost any price movement at all. All of these weekly candles, they have small wicks, but they are closing at the exact same price levels over and over again, around the $19,000 to $19,500, $18,800 level. And as soon as a decision is made, as I showed you in my last video as well, we will see a massive run into one of both directions, with a lot of liquidations occurring on the opposite side. So be prepared for that, and let's keep an eye on the charts. If you have subscribed to this channel and the bell active, I will keep you up to date on my trades anyways, if I plan to open a new trade, and if there should be any new chart pattern forming on the smaller time frames confirming a direction for the price, I will let you know and upload a video. But now guys, I hope you enjoyed. Smash up a like, don't forget to subscribe, activate the bell, leave a comment down below, and we are going to see us in the very next one. Till then, bye.